I am a black man. I am pressure. I am pressure. These are just realities. I am pressure. In today's society, I am pressure. In yesterday's society, I am pressure. Today on Well, I want to take a few minutes and just talk about that. I am pressure. I am pressure everywhere I go, everywhere I am, everyone I talk to. I am pressure. This is perceived a certain way in our culture. This is perceived a certain way in our culture. The times that we're in now is very critical. We're being pressed. We're being pressed at every angle, every direction. We're being pressed. Being pressed. We're being prodded. We're being goaded. We're being goaded into reactions, into a reaction here, a reaction there. We're being goaded. I'm going to tell you what this goading has, produced in this black man. Resolve is what's produced. Resolve. Determination's always been there. It's innately implied. It's in my DNA. I just came with that. You know what I'm saying? Factory settings. It's Montgomery. If you know, you know. If you know what Montgomery means, you know. If you know, you know. Period. That's a fact. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. You'll learn. But resolve. The goading does produce a reaction. Resolve. And see, here's the thing. We've been able to learn from our past. We've been able to learn. We can contextualize in our present, and we can focus on the future. Now, the future is a lot more complicated because we have so much to get done, have so much strategy to strategize, and we have so much to get communicated. But what I'm communicating today here on Well is I am pressure. I know that I'm pressure. I don't set out to be pressure. I don't set out to, to look serious and to be serious and matter of fact about this, that, and the other. I don't set out to be. This is who I am. This is who we are. As black men, we don't get to hear a lot about our strength. We surely don't get to talk. Nobody talks a lot about our strength. Well, I'm going to talk about our strength today. And if this scares you, God bless you. Because it shouldn't scare you, should impact, should encourage you if you're not a black man to hear what this black man is about to say. We will not be goaded and prodded into your games. We will not be prodded into your, to your civil war. Yeah, I said it. We won't be prodded into it. We won't be prodded into the instigation. We won't be prodded into the constant stirring, the intentional, degradation and destruction of a brotherhood. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. What you won't get out of me is negative condemnation of another black man behind his back what you won't get out of me is you'll get comfortable. I hold everybody accountable. Everybody accountable. And I'll hold you accountable in public. But as black men, I hold you closer. I hold you closer. Not because I hold you at a higher standard, but because I must cover you more. I must cover you better. I must protect you. See, I'm here to protect my brother. Am I brother's keeper? Yes, I am. I'm here to protect my brother. I'm not here to attack my brother. I'm gonna hold him accountable. We're gonna grind it out, man to man. You know what I'm saying? Not for public consumption. Not for public consumption. But man to man, eye to eye, for sure. But not for public consumption. Because the reality of it is this something that's never talked about. Now, whether you believe it or not, the Willie Lynch letter, that was a real structure. That was a real system that was built. If you don't know what the Willie Lynch letter is, I advise you to read it. It was a process that was set up, 300 plus years ago, and it was worked out magnificently, and it produced a great amount of distress and discord, amongst, our black community, our black family, the destruction of, and it's propagated, the destruction of. Now I'm not an activist. I'm not a freedom fighter, but I am a black man. I am pressure. And with understanding that and understanding, what we have to fight against, what we have to break, amongst other black men. See, here's the thing. And this thing that upsets me and frustrates me extremely, to the point where I literally work on this. Not just with myself, but with everyone I come to, as many as I can. We have a brotherhood that was broken in the 90s, 80s and 90s. It was broken. It was systemically, boots on the ground, actively destroyed, systematically, by our criminal justice system. It was intentionally dismantled. And that's the Black Brotherhood. It was intentionally dismantled. It was dismantled with prejudice. Okay, you don't hear that, but with prejudice. You know what I'm saying? With prejudice. And what does that mean systematically? That's de jure. That's a government structure. That's built and that's legislated. To do a thing, and it was done. It was done very masterfully. So that's why you don't see. Had social media been around, had this technology been around, in 1995, Lord Jesus, touch me, Father. In 1995? In 1995? From 1990 to 1995. From 95 to 2000. But from 1995? Let me tell you about 1995. Okay, 1995. Whew. I tell you what. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. As a black man, I spent more time with black men than with anybody at the time. Anybody. We would do everything. We would work together. We would go back to the same, neighborhoods, the same homes. You know what I'm saying? We would, eat together. You know what I'm saying? We would, entertain. We would, watch movies. We would, go, walk down the street together. Everything together. Black men. All day, every day. Black men. Groups of us, different groups of us, and then different groups of us would get together. We have grand old time. And we saw it totally dismantled. Totally systematically dismantled. Now, at the time, we had no idea that it was deliberate. We figured it was de facto. That was just, just this was what was happening. We had no idea of the greater, the greater meaning and the greater rationale behind why it was happening. But now we know. Now 30 years later, hundreds of books read, hundreds of studies done, hundreds of conversations had, hundreds and thousands of hours of lived experience. Now we understand more now. Oh, okay. So now fast forward to 2025 and being able to engage with another black man to black man in public is nearly impossible. I mean, I can't. There's never shoot. There's never two or three of us in the same, vicinity, block, region, city at the same time, to come together. And when we do, it's in and out, it's in and out, got to get in and do something in and out. It's cold, we got to, I have to, recall, had I never lived this, I would have never known that this thing existed. But am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. And I've seen, even just over the past several years, just in the past 5 years, my brothers, how hard it's been for us to get anything done together. And there's many brothers, I love them, and we've had to go through so many hoops and go through such lengths just to spend an hour together, 2 hours together, just to be able to spend and fellowship. It's become so hard. And here's the thing, it'll be different if it was just me. It's not just me. It's not just me, it's my collective. It's my peer group. It's my peer group. My peer group has been so totally dismantled, and I don't mean just, my personal peer. I'm talking about my peer group, Gen Xers, for sure, of a brotherhood has been so dismantled that we find ourselves in 2025, isolated beyond isolation, really cut away from the crowd and unable to maximize our potential because it's always shrouded under systems that were constructed without us in consideration as a part of it. Like I say, I'm not an activist, but just I'm just communicating, here on Well today, I am pressure. I'm a black man. I am pressure. I don't intend, God created, I came out the womb like this, literally. And so with that being said, it's been held against me, and it's held against me on a daily basis, and it's held against other brothers on a daily basis. And we're having to, over strategize just to get back to zero, just to get back to under zero. And we're done doing that. We're not doing that anymore. We're growing, we're building. This is a very dynamic time. This is the battle is raging right now. It truly is raging right now. And it's a different kind of war that's being waged because everybody's fighting and scrapping for their place in society and the world and everything. And as black men, what's happened with black men is the society has just decided to leave us to our own devices, have nothing to do with us, which on the face of it, it sounds nice and all that, but no, they're having nothing to do with our businesses, refuse to spend any money with us, refuse to allow our businesses, into partnerships with their business, that's their form of hands off, which causes us, to not be able to build and grow and aggregate and put things together and actually, flourish because we've been pushed out. We've been boycotted against, So our businesses, are the quality's there, the services there. We have all, but the reality of it is we have such a minute, if any, source of capital, because the reality of it is when the mainstream, pushes you out, or just refuses to let you in, either way you go, the effect's still the same, you can't thrive, you can't grow, you can't live, you can't exist. But here's the thing, I am pressure. I am value. I don't need validation to know that I'm value. I know I'm value because I know what value is, and so I created value. God put value. I know what value is, and so that's what I provide. That's what these other black men that I'm affiliated with provide. That's what we provide as a people. That's what we provide. I am pressure. The reality of it is, though, is now it's being tested. It's being tested. It's going to be tested, which is going to actually only strengthen it and purify it even more, in this time, but I am pressure, so, I'm a black man. I am pressure, we are solidly in this thing, and I thank God for it. I thank God for, what he's done and what he's doing and what he's about to do. It is, nothing short of the glory of God that demonstration shows me this, daily, but I am pressure. So today I'm well. God bless you.